Discernment is supposed to make you more honest. If it keeps making you harder to question, less available, and easier to hide, something else is wearing spiritual language. One reason this topic matters is that avoidance rarely introduces itself as avoidance. It shows up sounding mature, spiritual, and self-protective all at once. A person says they are preserving their energy, honoring their intuition, or refusing low-frequency situations. Sometimes that is true. Sometimes it is a clean boundary. But sometimes discernment is only the name being used for fear, discomfort, resentment, or the refusal to stay in contact with something emotionally costly. There are 3 distinctions that help. First, discernment clarifies reality, while avoidance reduces contact with reality. Discernment helps you see what is true, what is yours, what is not yours, and what kind of response is actually needed. Avoidance mainly tries to lower discomfort quickly. Second, discernment can tolerate examination. It does not panic when someone asks, "Why does this feel right to you? What are you protecting? Or what cost are you trying not to feel?" Avoidance becomes defensive when questioned because the story is doing emotional cover work. Third, discernment still permits responsibility. It may say no, it may require distance, it may ask for timing and regulation, but it does not use spirituality to erase accountability, compassion, or honest self-observation. In the law of one frame, this matters because polarity is not built by sounding spiritual. It is built by the repeated orientation of your choices. If you keep using refined language to protect image, dodge truth, or escape vulnerability, the language becomes part of the distortion. A teaching is only helping if it sharpens observation instead of providing a cleaner hiding place. Imagine someone receives a difficult message from a family member. The message is messy, emotionally charged, and not entirely fair. The person immediately says, "I am discerning that I should not engage." That may be true, but before we call it discernment, more questions are needed. Are they taking space to regulate and respond later with clarity? Or are they shutting the door because shame, anger, or helplessness was triggered? Are they refusing abuse, or are they refusing discomfort? Those are not the same move. Another example is spiritual community conflict. Someone says they are stepping back from drama because they want peace. That can be healthy. But if stepping back always happens the moment feedback becomes specific, or the moment their own behavior becomes visible, then peace may be a more flattering word for retreat. Discernment can include departure. Avoidance often includes narrative inflation around departure. The distortion shows up in familiar phrases. "I am above this. My energy is too sensitive for this. I already know what this conversation is. I do not need to explain myself." Sometimes those statements are true. Sometimes they are an elegant shield, built in real time. A better question is not, does this sentence sound spiritual? A better question is, what happens in me when honest contact becomes unavoidable? Healthy discernment often looks quieter than people expect. It may sound like, "I need a day before I answer this well. I am not available for disrespect, but I do want to be truthful. I need to leave this environment, and I also need to examine what it activated in me." That language stays connected to reality instead of floating above it. Ask yourself, when I say I am discerning, am I becoming clearer, or am I mainly becoming harder to question? Discernment should make a person more precise, more responsible, and more inwardly honest. If it only makes you less reachable, less examinable, and more convinced of your own spiritual specialness, it is probably serving avoidance more than truth. If this sharpened something real for you, subscribe to the AEON Keys and comment with the pressure pattern you want translated into grounded language next.